Have you ever felt the weight of a moment that could break you, not because it was loud, but because it was sharp, sudden, and unexpected? Life often strikes like that, a word that cuts deeper than a blade, a decision that changes everything overnight. In those moments, most people scramble, reacting in haste, driven by fear or pride. But the Stoics knew the true power is not in the rush, but in the pause. That breath before you act, that's where strength is forged. It is the difference between being swept away by the storm and learning to hold the helm steady. Think of it like crossing a river on stepping stones. The impatient leap stumbles into the water, while the patient one studies the current, waits, and lands each step with certainty. That is strategy. That is composure. It is not coldness nor manipulation. It is clarity. It is the art of standing still while the world trembles. So the question is this: when the next challenge rises, will you react blindly or will you respond as a strategist? Stay with me and let's step into the art of outsmarting any challenge. As we step into the first chapter, picture the weight of a decision pressing down on you like a sudden storm, unexpected, sharp, and demanding. In that moment, it isn't your education, your talents, or even your past victories that save you. It is the pause, the breath before the strike, the ability to choose how you think. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That pause is where ordinary people become extraordinary. Now imagine the difference between two minds. One lashes out in anger, spilling words that cannot be taken back. The other breathes, waits, and answers with clarity. Which one holds power? The reactive mind is a slave to impulse. The strategic mind is its own master. It is not about moving slowly or hiding from action. It is about moving deliberately, with precision, as if every choice is a stone placed carefully on the path of your future. Think of the battlefield within daily life. Someone cuts you off on the road and your chest tightens, your hands clench. The reflex is to rage, to chase. But stop. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? In that single question, the storm begins to lose its grip. Seneca said, "He who angers you conquers you. The pause reclaims your freedom." Let's take this further. Consider the man who loses his job. The reactive one panics, grabs the first offer, and lives a year of quiet despair. The strategic one steps back, weighs his direction, consults wisdom, and chooses work aligned with his values. Both were struck by the same blow. Only one turned it into strength. Here's where discipline enters. Not the harsh kind that whips you, but the quiet kind that steadies you. Strategic thinking means asking, what will my future self thank me for? A tempting offer may glitter now, but at what cost? Health, peace, time with those you love. Long-term eyes see what short-term hearts ignore. The Stoics trained daily for this, writing, reflecting, rehearsing the long game instead of surrendering to the present tug. You don't need to be born with this skill. You forge it, step by step, like muscle hardened in training. Ask the better question. Keep a small journal of your choices. Play life like chess, always 2-3 moves ahead. Surround yourself with those who live by reason, not gossip, so their habits rub off on you. This is not just practice, it is identity. You are no longer the one who panics, who shouts, who spirals. You are the one who pauses, evaluates, and moves with purpose. The mind becomes your weapon, sharp and steady. And once you claim that, there is no challenge you cannot outsmart. From here, let us step into the next truth, the power of clarity. Moving into the second chapter, imagine standing at a crossroads with fog covering every path. You can walk for hours, even days, burning energy, yet never knowing if you are closer to where you belong. That is how most people live. They move, but without direction. They chase noise, they copy others, they burn themselves out in motion that leads nowhere. The Stoics warned of this long ago. Without purpose, every road becomes a detour. Now ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what your parents dreamed for you, not what society insists upon, not what looks good on paper. What do you want? The answers people give are vague: success, happiness, wealth. But vague desires are wishes, not strategy. A wish without clarity is like a ship without a compass. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning to know what he was rising for. Without a clear destination, the strongest wind cannot help you sail. Here's where the hidden trap lies. Many confuse movement with progress. They stay busy, drown in tasks, yet never advance toward anything meaningful. Picture a man running endlessly on a treadmill, sweating, exhausted, yet still in the same place. Without clarity, life becomes that treadmill. But when your end game is defined, even the smallest step has weight. The noise fades. The distractions lose their pull. Each choice sharpens into alignment. Let's turn this into practice. Suppose your dream is to write a book. Don't just admire the vision of holding it in your hands. Work backward. If a book exists in your grasp, then a manuscript must already be complete. For that to happen, chapters must be written. For that, outlines must exist. And for outlines, you must sit, week after week, carving out time to write. Reverse the dream into steps, and suddenly the impossible becomes concrete. Strategic clarity turns castles in the air into bricks you can lay. Or imagine a man seeking financial independence in 10 years. He doesn't whisper vague prayers for wealth. He defines the number, the lifestyle, the investments required, the skills to be mastered. He breaks a decade into years, years into months, months into days. Each day holds a task tied to the vision. That is how freedom is built, not in one bold strike, but in countless deliberate moves. And then comes the hardest part, saying no. The Stoics valued restraint, for they knew every yes steals time from what matters. Once you know your endgame, you gain a shield. You can decline distractions with quiet confidence. You can trade the good for the great. Even a single word, no, becomes an act of self-respect. Clarity is not luxury. It is leverage. It is the edge that turns scattered effort into force. Don't just move, move with meaning. Don't just live, live with direction, because once you know the what and the why, the how reveals itself. And from here we move into the next principle, information, the sharp blade that turns vision into precision. Advancing to the third chapter, imagine stepping onto a battlefield shrouded in mist. You hear the distant clash of steel, but the ground beneath you is hidden. You cannot see the terrain. You don't know where the enemy waits, nor what weapons lie at hand. Would you charge forward blindly? Of course not. Yet this is exactly how many live their lives, rushing into choices, relationships, ventures, even battles with their own health, without first seeking to see. They confuse motion with mastery. They mistake noise for progress. But a Stoic knows better. Seneca warned, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. Information is the wind in your sails. Precision, ammunition. Without it, strength is wasted. Now imagine another scene. A man builds a house without a blueprint. He buys bricks, lays them fast, and congratulates himself for speed. Yet soon, walls collapse. Time lost. Effort wasted. Another man pauses. He studies the land, sketches the frame, measures twice before he cuts once. His house stands. Which man embodies power? Not the one who moved first, but the one who moved with foresight. The wise strategist learns before they leap, not endlessly, not trapped in hesitation, but just enough to see the lay of the land. Sun Tzu said it plainly: know the ground, know the enemy, and victory is assured. In our time, that ground is information. Not information piled endlessly, but the right knowledge. Who are the people you serve? What patterns repeat? Where do gaps exist? What complaints hide opportunities? Stop guessing, start discovering. But beware the two traps. On one side, paralysis, researching forever, waiting for perfect certainty. On the other, recklessness, charging with no map, no plan. Both destroy. The Stoic path lies between. Gather enough to move wisely, but not so much that you never move at all. Don't redraw the blueprint forever. Don't build without one either. Balance is mastery. Turn what you learn into insight. Data is nothing without direction. Collect, combine, and act. See patterns others miss. A man seeking a new path may notice a market demanding two rare skills. That is no longer trivia, it is a key. He studies, builds a project, positions himself, and doors open. He acted not on raw facts, but on refined insight. That is the difference between information as clutter and information as a blade. And in the long run, knowledge becomes compound interest. Every book read, every conversation, every observation becomes a tool in your hand. One day, when stakes are high, you will draw the right tool at the right moment. Others will call it luck. You will know it was preparation. So remember this. Don't just move, move with insight. Fast is good, smart is better. Fast and smart is unstoppable. And from here we step into the next discipline. Seeing the board, the art of big picture vision. Entering this chapter, imagine two commanders on a battlefield. One sees only the soldier in front, the other surveys the whole terrain, the supply lines, the weather. Guess who wins? The other leans back calm, eyes scanning the entire field, already thinking 5 moves ahead. Who wins? Not the one who rushes, but the one who sees. In life, in business, in relationships, the same rule applies. The strongest are not those who fight hardest, they are those who see widest. Now imagine yourself facing a problem at work. Your team is slowing down, tension rising. Most would scold individuals, push them harder, add pressure, but step back, ask, has the system changed? Are the tools broken? Has a crack upstream created a flood downstream? A Stoic sees not the surface alone, but the chain beneath it. Seneca wrote, "He who does not prevent a wound when he can, does not heal it when he will." To zoom out is to heal at the root, not at the skin. Here's where the strategist separates from the crowd. Most people stay trapped in their lane. They react to what is in front of them. But the strategist scans the horizon. They connect dots across industries, disciplines, even eras. Elon Musk linked energy, space, and transport. You do not need his empire to do the same. You only need to ask the larger question, how does this fit into the whole? What ripple follows this stone I drop? The one who sees patterns where others see noise always stands apart. Patterns are the secret weapon. Human behavior, markets, even your own choices, they all repeat. A man who notices he rushes under pressure gains power simply by naming it. He slows himself, creates rituals that anchor him, and avoids mistakes. A leader who sees that every product launch without feedback collapses does not blame chance. He changes process, breaks the pattern, and alters destiny. Wisdom is not just knowing what happened, it is knowing why it repeats. Strategists also map the field like generals before battle. Who holds influence? Who speaks? And who whispers behind them? What alliances are hidden? What interests are at stake? Imagine applying for a role. You don't just send a resume. You learn who sits at the table, what values they honor, and who might stand as your unseen advocate. That is not luck, it is vision. And vision is layered. Think not only wide, but long. Ask, what will this choice mean in a week, a year, a decade? Will it open doors or quietly close them? A Stoic weighs not just the pleasure of now, but the cost to the future self. Tunnel vision kills more dreams than failure ever will. The man who solves today but ruins tomorrow is not a strategist, he is a gambler. So remember this. When you see the board, you no longer panic in chaos. You have already mapped the terrain. You stop asking what move to make and begin asking what game is being played. See further. Play smarter. And from here, let us step into the art of anticipation, the quiet edge that outpaces every storm. At this stage, picture a silent reader scanning a map in the candlelight, already tracing tomorrow's march while others argue over today. While others sweat over the present, he has already stepped into tomorrow. That is anticipation, the ability to see before others even sense. It is calm calculation, not panic. A Stoic would say, the obstacle is the way. But the one who anticipates doesn't just walk through obstacles, he sidesteps them before they even take form. Now imagine a rising wave on the horizon. Most wait until it crashes. They scramble, they flail, they drown in reaction. But the strategist studies the tide, positions himself, and moves before the water crests. That is foresight. It isn't fear. It isn't anxiety, it is clarity. To think not just of the next step, but of the chain that follows. If I move here, what will it trigger? If I say yes now, will it cost me later? If I plant this seed, what tree will rise in 10 years? Anticipation is not magic. It is vision in practice, great minds scenario plan. They carry multiple maps. Best case, worst case, likely case, and the wild card. A career change? They see not just the salary, but the lifestyle, the trade-offs, the hidden costs. A product launch? They prepare for demand, for delay, for disaster. A relationship? They consider values, friction, and the long road ahead. This is not paranoia. This is positioning. As Seneca said, the man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. But anticipation is more than events. It is also people. To read a person is to step into their next move before it happens. What drives them? Power, recognition, safety, freedom. How do they act under strain? What silence hides between their words? If you can see these patterns, you negotiate with precision, you lead with steadiness, and you avoid conflicts before they spark. Most of all, you build trust, not because you control, but because you understand. People do not wish to be ruled, they wish to be seen. Here's how you make it a habit. Pause before you decide. Play out 3 likely consequences. Use the 10-10 rule. How will this matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? Keep a what-if journal and sharpen your mind with practice. And afterward, debrief. What did you expect? What did you miss? Each reflection turns experience into wisdom. So remember this. Anticipation is not fear of the unknown. It is mastery of it. You don't need to see the entire future. You only need to see further than the average eye. That one step of foresight makes you no longer a pawn. You become the hand that moves the pieces. If this truth speaks to you, write the word ahead in the comments and subscribe to stay walking this path of clarity. From here, we move into timing, the art of striking not just with power, but at the perfect moment. From here, imagine holding an arrow drawn back on the string. The bow is steady, your breath quiet, the target waiting. If you release too soon, the arrow falls short. If you wait too long, your arm trembles and the moment vanishes. Only when you let go at the precise instant does the arrow fly true. That is timing, the unseen force that turns power into victory. The truth is harsh. Most fail not for lack of strength or ideas, but for moving at the wrong moment. They rush because stillness feels weak. They act from impulse, mistaking speed for wisdom. Yet the Stoics knew patience is not idleness. It is strength disguised as calm. The eagle waits on the wind, circling high above. The archer waits for breath to settle. The wise negotiator waits in silence until the other heart reveals itself. Waiting with awareness is not weakness, it is control. Like a builder who feels the tremor before it shakes the earth, he knows when to stand firm and when to shift. So how do you recognize the right time? Watch for the leverage point, that single moment when the smallest act bends the largest outcome. A word at the peak of tension that dissolves conflict. A decision at the right market hour that multiplies gain. A step taken not when you feel restless,